Welcome back. This is a breaking story. The roads leading to the North and South Nelson Mandela University campuses have been shut by protesters. According to a message circulated on social media at the weekend, the shutdown comes in the wake of crime concerns from students. In the WhatsApp messages, students were asked to march to the on-site security division offices. For more on these protests, we're now joined on the line by Nelson Mandela University spokesperson Zandile Mbabela. Very good morning to you, Zandile. What's going on at the university?
Okay, good morning to you and to your viewers. All right, right now, as you've just rightly said, students have embarked on a protest, raising some issues around safety and security on and around campus. So right now the situation is that, the entrances to our North and South campus are blocked and access is a bit restricted. So as a result of that, management took a decision to suspend physical classes, but other forms of learning and teaching are able to continue.
What do you mean other forms of learning and teaching? Is this in terms of online lessons?
Yes. Because the action is concentrated on North and South as well, we've got other campuses that, lecturers are welcome to use at their discretion. But a lot of our learning materials also available using online resources. So we encourage that, our students and lecturers to use those platforms.
What do you know about the reasons for the students to block these entrances? Who are they not allowing in? Is it other students or is it teachers?
Well, they've blocked entrances, wanting to restrict access in a bid, I guess, to health services at the university to be able to have their grievances, heard. So at the moment, access to the university, particularly by car, is restricted. But we do see some staff and students, that are walking in. But yeah, restrictions in terms of vehicles is in place.
You are part of the management. Do you think that their concerns are valid?
Well, yes, we do, and we have taken note, of the concerns, and because we've noticed some reports about robberies and muggings on and around campuses, which remains a challenge because the Summerstrand area, where concentration of our students is one of the identified crime hotspots in the city. So, crime remains a challenge and, I guess, in the country, in the city. And, as a university, we're also not immune to those. But, we're trying as best as possible, as a university and at times working in partnership with law enforcement agencies and private security companies and the communities to try and come up with a sort of solution around, trying to combat crime.
How's this affecting the curriculum?
How is what affecting the curriculum? The protest action today?
Yes, the protest action and all the other actions leading up to today.
Okay, well, at the moment, there is a slight disruption in terms of, like I mentioned earlier, access onto the campus. But, we're trying to minimize the disruption to learning and teaching as far as possible. Hence the encouragement, for lecturers and students to use alternative forms.
What's the university's long-term strategy in dealing with the security issues? In 2017, the Nelson Mandela University committed to beefing up security across all its campuses to ensure the safety of staff and students following a vicious attack against 2 students at its 2nd Avenue campus. Was this implemented? If so, why are students still protesting about the same issue?
Okay. Well, post that, the university developed and finalized a safety and security strategy, which, like you have just mentioned now, talked about capacitating and bolstering security, on and around campus. So we as part of that strategy, there's like the capacitation and training of, existing protection services staff, working together in partnerships with other law enforcement agencies in and around campus, etc. And a bulk of this strategy involves the effective and efficient use of technology as well. So those have been implemented and are in place. And, to as a result, some of the we are better able to identify perpetrators, pursue and, apprehend as a result of some of these interventions that have been put in place. However, we do note that, there are criminal activities that, still kind of maybe fall in through the gaps. Some of the concerns that are raised by students is the fact that, they become targets when they are commuting between, campuses and perhaps off-campus accommodation sites, etc. And so in strategy and some of the interventions that we're putting in place is with the working with the private security companies and SABC to have, some sort of patrols and, some kind of visible policing around these areas that are, identified as hotspots. We've developed an identifiable green route where, it's been bolstered with CCTV cameras, visible patrols, etc. But we're also mindful, and that's why we keep, liaising and collaborating with law enforcement agencies, is that we need to keep abreast with the changing tactics of criminals because, sometimes, they change their tactics when they see that, there's this intervention in response to what they're doing, and then, they try to change it. So it's a work in progress that we are, in fact, really committed to. And, when we say that we have these things and interventions in place, we do, but it's just a matter of, continually working because crime does remain a serious problem, not just for us as a university, the Nelson Mandela Bay as a whole, and I guess the country in general.
Well, it's commendable that you have all these interventions in place, but they're clearly not working. That's why we are where we are today.
Yes, no, understandably, and I think the university is a microcosm of society, and we could have all these measures in place. However, we do not have the solutions to completely and truly combat crime. So that is why I'm saying it's a work in progress, and that we are getting the necessary infrastructure to be able to collaborate and effectively be able to deal with these things, because it's not just a problem that is affecting the university, but the public in general.
So just finally, Zandile, how are you going to be engaging with the students to sort out the problem that you're faced with in terms of the protest on this day?
Okay. Well, right now, engagements are continuing with the students, and I mean we've communicated over the weekend how as part of the regular updates around safety and security, what is in place, etc. So those engagements are happening, and we are seeking to come to common ground and some sort of understanding that there is work that is being done to ensure the safety and security of our staff and students, and that we're wanting to collectively come together and to be able to identify and perhaps hear from the students as well what they are faced with, what their everyday lived experience is in relation to crime, so that these are also factored in to the discussions and the solution finding initiatives around safety and security.
Thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you very much.